it's kind of interesting because people can see the songs. We go out as a two-piece, but we record, as you heard with the single.
Obviously,
it's a big sound.
Yes.
You know, so there's a kind of a duality about what we do as well, isn't there? Which is kind of interesting. I mean, down the road, if things got better or if things developed or, you know, got onto another level, we would look at putting probably a full band
together.
Yeah, but I love the idea of, like, I just play the guitar and Chris sings, I back him, I do some backing vocals, and that's it.
And the beauty of that as well is, like, on Heartsore, if you hear Heartsore live in an acoustic setting, it's got a totally different feeling to it. And what we did was, because the trumpet was such an integral part of the music itself, we just came up with a different set of lyrics just to, you know, to complement the melody of the trumpet and just to fit it in there. So it's got a, you know, a different sense again when it's on stage, you know.
Well, there's a lot of intrigue going on with this anyway, for me, and certainly I'm sure for our listeners. I'll tell you what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go to a quick ad break, but I want to have plenty more chat with you when we get back.
Perfect.
Broadcasting to Yaletown and the surrounding rural area on 104 FM. You're in tune with Community Radio Yole.
Back to the boys. We have Chris and Martin here from The Apologists, and we've been having some great chats. So I just have a couple more questions for you. Just still kind of going back a little bit to, say, your initial writing of the track Seep and the story behind it, obviously, with your father, Chris. It's quite a touching story. And I'm just curious to know, you know, what sort of feedback did you get once it came out, and you were talking about sort of the Alzheimer's, I suppose.
We released it for the Cork Alzheimer's Home Support, you know, which is a very good organisation for...
It's Cork-based.
Yeah, it's Cork-based, yeah. And what it actually does is supplies home help to people that need, because, like, I mean, people used to tell me before, like, my grandmother has Alzheimer's or my uncle has Alzheimer's, and nobody really knows what it is like until somebody in your house has it, and then you know for a fact just exactly how destructive this disease can be, like, to the person, and not even to the person, but to the unit trying to help this person, you know. So what the home support group do is that they supply home help for people who, because we tried to hold on to our father as long as we could in the house before we had to give up and allow him into a home. And that was the most heartbreaking decision, because he was a really, really good man.
And he's your father.
Great father, absolutely great father. And for him to have to leave the house and go into a nursing home and then go, you know, up to visit him every night. My mother would go up in the afternoon, I'd go up in the evening, and my brother would go up in the evening time. But that was a terrible thing. So I mean, that's the reason why I wanted to kind of highlight it as well, you know. So just to send it forward field, we started sending, you know, links of it to other Alzheimer's societies around the world. And this guy in New York, Sean McCarthy, who has a radio station, Radio Irish, picked up on it and started playing it. And not only did he play it, but he did a lovely little film montage.
He did, that's right.
And he put that up on YouTube, and I started getting a lot of recognition in America.
Really?
In New York, around the New York area, to such a degree that at the end of year polls last year, we were awarded with the best new Irish pop band.
That's wonderful.
I mean, after the release of one single, you know. I think that kind of gave us the impetus as well to say, I mean, that was something to come away and say, look, you know, somebody likes this stuff, you know, we did it.
And you reached people who obviously could connect to this, because, I mean, Alzheimer's goes around the world. I mean, you obviously reach people from that point of view as well.
It was written from a carer's point of view. It was written from somebody who's looking at the... well, basically, the story in the song is like it's somebody who's relinquishing the responsibility because they can't do it anymore, and they're handing it over to somebody else. And the lyrics of the song is telling this next person how not to do it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. And
that was the basis of the song, and I think that kind of got to a lot of people that listen to it, especially those who have had experience of it themselves, because it is a very hard thing to do, and you do realise your own mistakes when you're actually doing it as well, and people are very in tune with the fact that what I felt,
Yeah.
is felt universally around the world by people that are in that situation.
And we the single is still available. If it's on,
called Seep.
Seep, yeah. There's 2 tracks, Seep and Bet You Did Kid, and you can get it on Bandcamp.com, or again go to our Facebook pages if you've got a query about it, and we'll sort you out.
That's how I found it. Yeah, I found it. I think I went onto your Facebook page and then I found it on SoundCloud.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. It's certainly well worth listening to. It's a beautiful track.
Well, again, if it is it's still a charity single that people do want
Oh
to
no,
download.
I think I'm just after coupling on. You actually heard the old acoustic version.
I did. Yeah, that's the one I tried to download. But
Yeah, that's the very old.
There's a full band version
There's a full
as well.
band version. We'll send you the link to that later.
Oh,
on.
please do.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And it's backed up with another beautiful little song called "I Bet That You Did, Kid." And as I said, it's just a testament to this guy again that I came with this really, really simple song about saying goodbye to a loved one, and he just turned it into something absolutely heart-destroying. Like, it's really, really beautifully produced, and I was so proud of it at the end of the day. And I just said, like, this is the kind of guy that I want to work with. And he understands what I'm coming with, more so than what I do, and he'll come out and he'll make something out of it that I can be proud of,
Well, it's almost like a gift, I suppose. I mean, taking the sadness of your poor father, and then, this is born out of it, and you two now are this unstoppable force in Cork, the Apologists, and you're in the studio and you're banging out new songs, and it's amazing how things happen.
Yep, exactly. That's why he said it a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking to somebody. He said it was like a fateful meeting that this happened. Which I firmly believe in that.
Oh yeah, same
otherwise
here.
he'd have been off around town gigging his own thing, and I'd have been not doing music.
Could never have met. Yeah.
So,
it's amazing.
Well, I think when Chris made the initial contact, I was instantly interested. Once I heard the songs, I was quite taken by them, and I think he doesn't realise it himself, but he's already developing as a writer. He's been in the studio properly for the first time with Heartsore, and I can see the improvement. I can see where this guy's music is going, and I personally, although I am obviously a part of the project, there's no reason why this can't do well.
Can't keep the momentum. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think lyrically where he's at, what he's talking about, his message is simple, it's direct, not a whole lot of abstraction going on within the lyric. If people dig that kind of thing, this band is worth checking out. Again, I'm not just saying it because I'm part of the band. I truly believe that his songs and his vision is quite unique, and I am a songwriter myself. I've worked with a lot of musicians, many musicians over the years, and this guy is one of the true sort of originals that I've come across.
I write a lot of short stories and that, and I write a lot of prose and poetry and that, and I've always written with a very clear idea of a story. So there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I think that's the way I write my songs as well. There's a logical flow. As Martin said, there's no abstraction, there's no confusing messages in it. They're stories, and I think when the night we played inside the Rollie, and this friend of ours that had never heard the song that we're going to play before the end of the programme, text. And she just came out and she says, Jesus, everybody has done exactly what you've and it's so simple, it's just a simple thing. And the beauty of the song is, when you listen to it, it was actually written in real time. It wrote itself.
Amazing,
so what you're actually hearing,
there's no stop and start, overdub, blah blah blah.
It actually, the story came out, and there's things happening within the song that, as they happened, I wrote the lines down, and it was written in 25 minutes. And that's just the way it comes. And this, I could sit down for an hour with a pen and paper to write something that would never come out.
Yes,
but in the space of 5 minutes I get a flash of inspiration and it's out on the page.
But also, Chris, what's interesting is that you also have a very fine voice, Have you had much singing experience? Obviously not, no?
It's only singing experience, really. It would be belting around in a pub.
A few pints.
But
she still does.
But some people can be, great writers, but they might necessarily have the voice to go with it.
My voice, he keeps saying it to me, like, if you didn't smoke cigarettes, you'd probably have a really, really good voice, but there's
Actually, you'd probably have a really bad voice. I'm taking that back, because there's a natural hoarseness which may be caused by the fact, although I think it's kind of indelible to him.
I've always had a hoarse, even before I ever put a cigarette into my mouth, I've always had a hoarse throat, it's always been a factor with me. I suffered from septic throats as a kid.
Right.
From a very young age, And I think that's kind of left that mark on it, but as I said...
Again, it was fate, and it's serving you well now. It's not the worst thing.
Thanks be to God that Dr. Shorten all those years ago in Cork couldn't cure me.